investigates.
Presque Isle is a popular vacation spot for Pittsburghers, but Action News Investigates has learned it's facing a serious threat. The Lake Erie Peninsula is in danger of literally breaking in two.
Investigative reporter Paul Van Osdol explains this revelation comes despite millions of tax dollars spent trying to preserve that beach.
That's right. You know, Presque Isle attracts hundreds of thousands of Pittsburghers, and it was recently named the best freshwater beach in the country. But the beach has steadily eroded despite tens of millions of dollars spent trying to prevent that from happening. An expert on beaches calls it a waste of taxpayer money. A hot summer day brings thousands of people to Presque Isle's beaches to soak up the sun, swim in the lake, or sit back and enjoy some barbecue.
This is the closest beach we have to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now, so this is a place to be.
Judy Naus of Ohioville, Beaver County, has been coming to Presque Isle since she was a child. How was the beach back then?
It was beautiful. It was long, but it does seem every year it gets shorter and shorter.
And in some places, steeper. This despite the fact that in just the past 5 years, the Federal Army Corps of Engineers has dumped 435,000 cubic yards of new or relocated sand on the beach. That's equivalent to 43,500 dump truck loads. Also, in the early 1990s, the feds built 55 breakwaters just off the shore. The hope was they too would help prevent erosion and minimize the need for more sand. The total cost for the breakwaters and the sand, $121 million over 50 years. Yet the Corps admits erosion cannot be stopped.
At one time there was a kiosk here, there were other things that have actually disappeared from erosion, so there are impacts.
But he says the breakwaters have slowed down the process.
Well, I think it succeeded very well. I mean, well, you have to look at the peninsula as a whole, and we have an extremely stable peninsula.
But Duke University scientist Orrin Pilkey says the breakwaters have been a failure. He even wrote a book about it. In the early 1990s, he and other scientists warned the breakwaters would not work because they would keep sand from reaching Gull Point, the tip of the peninsula that is popular for bird watchers.
Sand just can't flow behind breakwaters, and that was a critical part of the plan for Presque Isle.
These pictures show sand buildup between the breakwaters, forcing the Corps to spend money moving it.
I think it's been a waste of money, especially when you consider the environmental loss that resulted from this project.
The Corps says 54 acres of beach have disappeared at Gull Point since the breakwaters were installed, but a nearly equal amount of acreage was added on the bay side. Still, the Corps admits Gull Point is threatened.
It looks bad right now.
This is the area of greatest concern here on Presque Isle. Right over here, of course, you have Lake Erie, but then only about 50 feet from the lake, you have this marsh pressing in from Erie Harbor. And the concern is this whole area could separate and form its own island.
It's going to be separated, there's no question of that.
Just a year ago, the Corps proposed dredging sand from Erie Harbor and dumping it off Gull Point to try to build it back up and avoid a breach. But that plan was dropped because of environmental concerns. Instead, the Corps hoped to use its annual beach nourishment money for Presque Isle to shore up Gull Point. But this year, it got no money at all for new sand.
That's a great concern for us because, first of all, we're always worried about the safety, public safety.
The state is planning to spend $1.5 million for new sand at Presque Isle, but that may not be enough to keep the peninsula from splitting in half.
It's a matter of how much funding we have, how much sand we can put in the vicinity that would feed that area, and the weather that we have.
Even if it costs millions more to preserve the beach at Presque Isle, that's okay with Judy Naus. Is it worth it to spend that kind of money to try?
Yes, there's a lot of people that can't make it to the ocean, and this is, what it is for them.
And plenty of other people feel that way because, Presque Isle attracts 4 million visitors a year. That's more than any other state park.
All right, so if that's not working, is there anything that can be done to make sure it doesn't split in two?
Well, the Duke professor we talked to said he would recommend getting rid of those breakwaters, but that's not going to happen. That's just too expensive, and the Army Corps is never going to do that. He and the Army Corps agree if that's not going to happen, the best thing to do is just keep pumping out more sand.
Get more sand. A lot of people go there.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Okay.